Alright, welcome everybody. So today we have Hebo for a nice little build video. It was requested to do Hebo, and I'm going to go over these items, and as always we'll go over some alternative items, defensive items, and things of that sort. So let's start with actives. As far as actives, what you may want to pick up as Hebo would be sort of like defensive actives, if you will, like combat blink would be really nice for Hebo. I mean, you can use your ulti as an escape or drop down your water carpet, but in some cases you may be, Hebo's not the most mobile mage out there, so if you really need to, don't be afraid to pick up combat blink, ages, things of that nature. As far as items, let's go into items. Shoes of Magi. Now, you can pick up cooldown reduction boots, but with Hebo's low cooldown reductions already, like 3 seconds on his 1, 10 for his 2 and 3, and of course ulti is the normal 90 seconds. So you may not really need cooldown reduction boots. Instead, you want to go for more of a power type Hebo. So Shoes of Magi with that penetration is the route we're going to go with this one. Next, if you want to just quickly boost up your power as soon as possible, I'd probably pick up Bancroft's Talon. What's cool about Bancroft's Talon, yeah, it's a lot of power, but also the life steal. So when you go to use your ulti, after you finish doing your combo with your abilities, so that way you get your passive up and you do more damage when you go in with your ulti. You may be a little low on HP from a team fight or whatever the case may be. So when you do your Bancroft's, if you do your ulti with Bancroft's Talon, and then you gain your life back from using your ulti on somebody, so that way you can kind of get your health back and be a little bit more sustained. Hope that makes sense. So that's a good pickup for them. Now, as far as the penetration item, you can still use Spear of Magus or Obsidian Shard, wherever the case may be. Obsidian Shard, you're going to get more power out of it, more damage, most likely. But Spear of Magus is going to help take down anybody that's really building those magical defense items. This way Spear of Magus works with Hebo is the passive and using your combos with your, your 3 and your 1. So that way you have the passive Spear of Magus debuff on your enemies, so you're going to do more damage in your chain of abilities, especially if you go 3-1 or 4, 3 for 1 then 4. So yeah, that works out pretty well. Next we have Tahuti. Now, I wouldn't get it this early in Conquest. I would get it this early in Arena. Reason being is because follow-up we have Soul Reaver, and those 2 items are really expensive, so if you wait to get it as your 5th and 6th item, like your last 2 items, you may not finish Soul Reaver. So for arena purposes, and maybe 3v3, maybe, I would get Tahuti earlier, so that way you have that nice jump of damage. You'd be ahead of everybody else as far as mages damage. And then next we have Soul Reaver, so that way whenever you use one of your abilities like your 3 and or your 1, that pretty much is another ulti basically, because Hebo's known for having 3 ultis, his 1, 3, and 4. So Soul Reaver is a really nice, just potent damage item for Hebo, just because he's overall really bursty with all 3 damage abilities. And then finally, this is kind of optional, Polynomicon. He can get good use out of it, especially with this build, since this build is such a high-powered build that a passive, you're going to do some decent damage. So the way it works is you pop somebody up, they're going to be knocked up, so it's going to be really easy for you to land your next basic attack after that, and your next basic attack is going to have that Polynom proc, so that way your next basic attack is going to hit really hard. So what you can do, 3 basic attack and use your 1, that's most likely going to kill most people in game, most likely. So that's how Polynom works there. Now, if you need some more defense items, you could probably switch out like Polynom for like a physical defense item if you want, like Breastplate of Valor or Imperial helmets, or sorry, Dynasty Plate helmets rather. I pick this up on my mages quite often if I need it. And as far as magical defense items, you could go Void Stone. So when you go in to use your ulti, and if your enemy target is a mage, Void Stone passive will definitely be applied, and it acts as more penetration. So we're going to go quickly to Harabot if we can here and test out some damage. Our power is looking really good, 650. That's without our passive too. So these are 2, 3, 1. We didn't even have to use our ulti or a Polynom basic attack. So with our passive fully filled, we're sitting at over 700 damage, or power rather. yeah, 728 magical power with our passive. And that's on full HP. Once our HP lowers, we have the Bancroft's Talons passive, granting us a percentage, or sorry, another additional point of magical power. So it works out pretty well. So that's going to wrap it up for the build video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.